Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Political Array. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a couple of stories for you. Um, Elon Musk went on Fox Business, talked about some of the stuff that he's doing. Also talked about the cyber attack, the DDoS attack that happened on X yesterday. Now, this attack happened yesterday. X was down for a lot of people, myself included, and a lot of people couldn't get on there and do anything. Every time I went on there, it just said failed to load. You could hit the retry, but it still wasn't doing nothing. As of this morning, X itself is working for me anyway, but I still can't. I can't bring clips from X into the program that I'm using to make my videos. So there's still that. I mean, it's still down in that aspect, I guess you could say, but it is up. You can still scroll through. You can interact. You can repost. You can comment. That kind of stuff. So it is up to a certain degree. But like I said, I wasn't able to bring videos or clips from X onto the video program that I'm using. So is that still part of the DDoS attack? Because the people who supposedly taken responsibility for this said that they're not going to let up and they're still going to continue. So is it still happening? I don't know. All we got from Elon was saying that it is back up. So, but it's not fully back up, I guess. But anyway, we've got that. We'll talk about that. Plus, we've got I don't like talking about it, but The View. Whoopi had some pretty strange things to say about men competing in women's sports. On The View, they had Dylan Mulvaney on The View with them yesterday, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But anyway, we'll jump right into this. Like I said, this is Elon Musk. Okay, he's been taking a lot of flack from the left. He's had attacks on his dealerships, which he's not even there. It's just hardworking people trying to earn a living for their families, but he's still having to put up with this stuff. So, we'll get into this. This is him talking. This is from the Daily, or from the Post Millennial rather, and we'll talk about this real quick. This is Tim talking about the cyber attack that happened on X. So, breaking: Elon Musk says cyber attack on X was traced to IP address in Ukraine area. This is nuts. This is wild. Okay. Now, like I said, the people taking responsibility for this, I don't know where they're based out of. It's all over X about the group. I forget the name of it, but because I don't think it's I wouldn't give them credit for it anyway. I mean, I wouldn't say their name. It's just a hacking group that has taken credit for it. But anyway, here we go. Let me get rid of this. Get you off the screen. Okay. Fox Business host Larry Kudlow interviewed Elon Musk, where the two discussed the major cyber attack on X on Monday, temporarily shutting down the platform. There was a cyber attack on X, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced, Kudlow said. So we'll take a look at this little clip here. This is where he's talking about it, and this is where he said that their IP address was traced back to the Ukraine area. So we'll take a look at this real quick.
There was a cyber attack on X today, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced.
Yes.
It's a big story. You want to give us a moment on that?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
So, I mean, there you go. It's wild. Anyway, I mean, Ukraine's talking about, it's our duty to help them and blah 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 blah. And maybe just maybe, the fact that it was the IP address was found to be in the Ukraine area. Maybe that's got something to do with that. We don't know. I don't know, but we'll see. More information will come out, But anyway, Elon Musk confirmed the incident, stating the attack appeared to come from the Ukraine region. We're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try and bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area, Musk said. Kudlow then asked Musk if he believed the attack came from Ukraine and whether the platform was back online. He did say yes. I mean, he said that the platform was back up. And like I said, it is for the most part. But like I said, I couldn't bring clips into the video program that I use. So in that aspect, I guess it's still down. But for the most part, it's back up. You can scroll through, comment, like I said before, all that stuff. So excuse me. Anyway, let's see. The site experienced intermediate outages on Monday after a massive cyber attack, Musk said, with users not being able to access various features of the popular social media platform owned by Elon Musk. According to Down Detector, which gathers data from users who report outages on various services, users first started reporting issues around 6 a.m. Eastern, peaking with around 2,100 reports issued appeared to be resolved until another spike occurred around 10 a.m. with over 40,000 users reporting issues. I was watching. As I do every day, I watched Timcast with Tim Pool, and he was talking when he was doing his live show yesterday that X was still down and he wasn't able to use it. That was, I want to say that was around 11 o'clock when I started watching him. I think he had already recorded it at that point because he does do it earlier, but I want to say it was 11 or 12 when I started watching him, and he said it was still down at that point. So, like I said, I didn't catch the live part of it. But he said it was still down. So, I mean, it's according to Newsweek, the hacker group known as Darkstorm took credit for the DDoS attack on the popular social media platform. Cyber threat research team Checkpoint Research told the outlet that the pro-Palestinian hacker group has resurfaced after a period of time with no activity. The hacker group largely targets countries like the U.S., Ukraine, and UAE, and Israel. No further details on the attack have been provided at this time. Now, a DDoS, people, just for people who don't know, a DDoS attack is just it's a massive influx of people accessing the site, and because these servers can only handle so much, and what this attack does, it just floods these servers with just a massive amount of traffic onto the servers. And what that does, then the server gets overloaded, they can't handle it, and it actually takes down the site or whatever it may be that the attack is on. So just a little context as to if people don't realize what a DDoS attack is. That's pretty much what it is. And I didn't know it, but apparently this Dark Storm, I didn't know it, but there apparently is a pro-Palestine hacker group. I didn't know that, so that's news to me. But it makes sense as to why they would go after Elon. So there's that. Anyway, take a look at some of the other stuff that he talked about while he was on Fox News, Fox Business rather, and this. I mean, he talks about what he's trying to do in the cat. He talks about what he's trying to do within the government and their goals and everything else, what have you. So we'll take a look at this too.
Just was looking back. Let me see if I get this right. They're setting fire to various Tesla charging stations near Boston. Shots were fired at a Tesla dealership in Oregon. Various nonviolent...
Shots fired, not a metaphor.
Shots fired, yes. Downtown New York, marching against the Tesla showroom. Your stock is way down. You've been criticized left and right.
But look on the bright side.
I mean, why are you doing this?
Always look on the bright side of life.
Look how positive he is about this. His dealership's getting attacked. His stock is going down. He's losing money. I mean, doing what he's doing. But look at what he said right there. Look on the bright side. The guy's look, all the flack he's taking, the money he's losing. It makes you wonder why he's actually doing it. I think it's because he really wants the country to be better. That's what I think. You can argue with me against it, but why else would he do this? Why else would he be taking time out of? He's taking time away from his companies. He's got SpaceX, he's got X, he's got Tesla, he's got all these ventures going on. He's actually losing money. Like I said, his Tesla stock is going down. It's crazy. He's doing this because he wants the country to be better. That's what I think. You can argue against it, but that's how I feel about it. Why else would he be doing this? And he said that he's going to keep continue. He's going to keep fighting the fight. So I give credit to the guy.
Yes. I'm an optimist.
Yeah. But besides that,
Yes. I mean,
how's your day?
what motivates you to do this?
Was the opera good?
It's tough
He's
sledding.
trying to.
Yeah, it is tough sledding. But I think we're doing the right thing here. There's been a tremendous amount of waste and fraud in the government. When you're part of the government, you saw a lot of that, and there's been, if you look at the Inspector General reports and the Government Accountability Office, there have been many audits that have pointed out that there's a tremendous amount of waste and fraud in the government. In fact, there was a report issued by the GAO, the Government Accountability Office, last year. So during the Biden administration, which estimated the federal government fraud to be $500 billion. So just to be clear, that's not a Trump administration thing, that's a Biden administration thing. So what we're trying to do is get that number down to a much smaller figure, save money for the American taxpayer, stop money being spent on things that I think very few taxpayers would agree make sense. Transgender animal surgeries, or why are we spending money? Why are American tax dollars being spent on this?
He's not wrong. Okay, look, like I said before, he's all the extra stuff that he's dealing with. Like I said, I mean, I want to show you this real quick. This is just some of what he's dealing with as far as the Tesla goes. He's getting attacked by all sides. He's got the cyber attacks on X. He's got all kinds of attacks against him on X itself, and he's dealing with the loss of the stock as far as Tesla goes, and he's dealing with protesters that turn into riots at his Tesla dealerships against people who are just there trying to make money for their families. It's wild to me. Why would you attack a Tesla dealership just because you don't like the guy who actually owns the overall company, but you're going to go in and attack hardworking people? It doesn't make sense to me. But we'll take a look at this real quick. This is just it's some news clips put together. This was a local news channel, KTLA 5, but there's one at the end here as well. We'll take a look at I mean, it's crazy that all the stuff that he's dealing with, and he's still pushing forward, trying to find waste and wasteful spending on taxpayer dollars, trying to help America. Anyway, here, check this out.
Tesla turmoil. Stocks are down and Tesla car lots are under attack. As correspondent Nancy Liu reports, vandals are protesting Elon Musk's growing power in Washington since Trump returned to the White House.
Well, the violence comes.
Let me make one thing clear. As far as power within the government that Elon has, yes, he says he's got a team of around 100 people. He wants to make it about 200 that are going through these different government organizations trying to cut waste and wasteful spending of taxpayer dollars. But as far as power goes, the guy finds something and then takes it to President Trump himself, or he takes it to one of his cabinet members and say, look, this is what I found. And then it's not him that's making the call. It's President Trump that makes the call on, oh yeah, does he see everything? Probably not. President Trump's pretty busy. But it's not Elon that's making the decision on what to cut and what not to cut. I'm just going to put that out there.
As Tesla employees around the world are on higher alert due to the activities of company founder Elon Musk. Many dealerships have been picketed in recent weeks and even targeted with criminal attacks. The latest violence in Tigard, Oregon, just outside Portland, where police are investigating vandalism involving gunfire. On Wednesday, at least 7 bullets tore into a dealership in an overnight attack, damaging 3 cars and shattering windows. No one was injured, and so far, no arrests. But in another Oregon incident, police have a 41-year-old man in custody. He allegedly targeted a dealership in Salem, causing major damage with Molotov cocktails in January. and then opening fire with an AR-15 style rifle last month. Oregon has been a hotbed for protest action against Elon Musk and Tesla, and there's a growing grassroots movement called Tesla Takedown.
It's not, look, everybody wants to use that grassroots movement. That's not what this is. It's in major cities. It's not a grassroots movement. Just stop using that term.
Lawful picketers are condemning any violence and vandalism.
You have a right to protest. We who served in the military said to give you that right, but not to up and destroy and shoot and burn or whatever. No,
this
go
man
protest.
has a good point.
Stand up, scream and holler, get your bullhorn out, go do your thing, but no violence.
Protest actions in Boston and across the country in recent weeks have been largely peaceful, but there have been multiple arrests for vandalism and disorderly conduct. The anti-Elon movement also has people getting rid of their Teslas, including singer Sheryl Crow.
I find it funny that they had to put this in there. Sheryl Crow is just grandstanding. She doesn't care about getting rid of her car. She's got plenty of money and she does not care. She's just doing this as a grandstanding stunt to show everybody, oh, I'm part of the 10% that doesn't like, what's going on in the country. It's just grandstanding. Nobody cares what these celebrities and these Hollywood elites, nobody cares about them anymore. That's why nobody watched the Oscars and nobody watched the Golden Globes. People don't care about the Hollywood elite anymore, but they still want to come out here and grandstand and do this kind of crap. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that you still make crap ton of money and you got rid of your Tesla. Nobody cares. Anyway.
Who posted a video to social media announcing that proceeds from the sale of her car are going to NPR. Now, so far, no public response from Elon Musk to the stock drop of Tesla and also the ongoing protests. But on X, there are many posts in support of Musk and DOGE. Back to you.
That's because the overwhelming majority of Americans are behind this. This is not a secret when everybody on X comes out and says, oh, is this what you voted for? Yes. Yes, it was. It's not a secret. I've said this 100 times before. And I know people are saying, Ray, you just keep repeating yourself. That's because it keeps coming up. We did vote for this. Okay? It was no secret when President Trump was campaigning and running for president. He specifically said that Elon Musk was going to play a vital role in weeding out the corruption and the wasteful spending within the government. It wasn't a secret. It's what we voted for. People all over X saying, oh, this is what you voted for. Yes. And there's a lot of stuff going around about regret for voting for Trump. I've seen a couple things. Yes, I'm not going to lie. I've seen a couple of them. Not a whole lot. Do I regret it? I don't regret it. He's doing exactly what I wanted him to do. He's going into this government with a sledgehammer and he's knocking it all down. This is what I wanted. I wanted a smaller government. I wanted to weed out the wasteful spending. It's what I want. He's doing it. Anyway.
What the?
6 protesters were arrested at a Manhattan Tesla dealership this morning after hundreds of New Yorkers swarmed the showroom there. Planet Over Profit posted this video of demonstrators being detained. Now, after activists tried to occupy the dealership, protesters chanted, "We need clean air, not another billionaire." A similar demonstration at the same showroom last month saw 9 protesters arrested.
Okay, look. I'm going to say right now. We need clean air, not another billionaire. Look, I understand, and a lot of people understand that just the fact of how these vehicles are made does not make the planet safer. That one of these vehicles has to be on the road for, I think it was like 150 years. I'm paraphrasing, not exactly sure of the exact number, but one of these, it's an insane amount, way past a vehicle's lifetime, that they would have to be on the road to just to make up from the danger it did to the environment just to make the vehicle. Between the harvesting of the materials needed for the battery and everything else, it actually harms the environment more than driving around an electric vehicle. I mean, it's just, they don't have a safe, productive way to harvest these materials needed to make the vehicles, especially the batteries. It's just not something that happens right now. So, but that's besides the point. My point being on this one is the fact that all these people, a lot of people don't understand that. They think, oh, it's an electric vehicle, it's better for the environment. So for them to come out and be chanting, we need clean air, not another billionaire, they're the ones who think electric vehicles are good for the planet. So they're just contradicting themselves in chanting this. It makes no sense to me why they would chant that. These people are stupid. There's no other way around it. They just don't realize what they're doing. They see crap on the internet, and then they go and do this crap. And I'm not 100% sure that they're not funded by some other entity. There's a lot of rumors flying around the internet about a lot of these Elon protests and these riots that are happening at the dealerships. There's a lot of rumors flying around that they're getting money backed by other agencies, whether it be Soros or I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't seen any evidence towards the fact, but there's rumors flying around. I'm just saying. I don't know it to be the point or to be the fact. I'm just pointing it out. So, anyway, there was that. But anyway, we'll go on back to Elon's little interview here. I want to talk about when he was talking about why he chose USAID. It's not USAID, it's USAID. Anyway, he talks about this and why he chose that first. But we'll get into this too.
Right. Well, we just basically follow the money. We look at the president's executive orders, and we also just follow the money. So we started looking closely at USAID because they were completely violating the president's executive orders to suspend
yes, they were.
foreign aid. What's called foreign aid, but in our view is a lot of corruption. So what we saw there is just a tremendous amount of money being sent to non-governmental organizations. But actually, this, by the way, is I think one of the biggest sources of fraud in the world is government-funded non-governmental organizations. This is a gigantic fraud loophole where the government can give money to an NGO, and then that there are no controls over that NGO. So they've given billions of dollars, in fact, we estimate tens of billions of dollars to NGOs that are essentially scams.
Mm-hmm. He's not wrong. He's 100% correct. And like I said, saying that he went after USAID because of the fact that they were disregarding President Trump's executive orders. That's why he went after them first. I'm not saying that's exactly why. I'm not saying but he's not wrong about the fact that these NGOs get funneled a crap ton of taxpayer money, and then they spend it on what? Transgender studies in Afghanistan, I think it was Iraq that got the Sesame Street. Peru got a huge amount of money for a transgender comic book. There's just all this different monies that's just flying out the door for crap that nobody wants. Nobody wants that crap. Yes, you've got the small percentage, and I'll say it again. I'd say it's roughly about 10%. But the rest of the 90%, they don't want this crap. Look at the transgender stuff. I mean, men and women's sports, that's a 80-20 position. 80% of people in America don't want that to be happening. The other 20% does. It's an 80-20. It's a losing, if you're going to stand on that ground, it's a losing battle. An overwhelming majority of the U.S. people don't want this stuff happening. Anyway, let's take a look at this next one here that I got, and we'll see.
I'm just here trying to make government more efficient, eliminate waste and fraud, and so far we're making good progress, actually. So our savings at this point exceed $4 billion a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money.
It's very significant.
You think you'll wind up getting to $1 trillion?
Yeah.
Of savings?
I mean, unless we're stopped, we will get to $1 trillion of savings.
And that stuff.
Well, I believe it. I I think he'll get more than that. I think he's going to end up with more than that. Plenty more. I think that it's possible that they get their goal is 2 trillion. I don't see that being far off. All the wasteful spending that they're finding, it's not out of the realm of possibility for them to get to that 2 trillion goal. It's not. I think they're going to hit it. I think they'll get it before they're supposed to. I can't remember when their goal date was, but I think they'll hit it before their goal. Anyway. Well, that summed it up, though. I mean, he said that they're going to keep going. He's 100% sure they'll get to $1 trillion. Think about the savings of taxpayer dollars. $4 billion per day is what he said. That's a lot. That's a lot of money that they're finding just wasteful spending. That's a lot. It makes you wonder how long this has been going on. Probably a very, very long time. And why? Well, we all know why he didn't do it in the first term, President Trump, speaking of, because he'd never been in politics. He took advice of other politicians and other bureaucrats within the system and didn't get good people around him, but he's learned from that, and he's going through there with a sledgehammer this time, and I'm here for it. I'm down with it. Anyway, we'll move on to Whoopi and The View. They had Dylan Mulvaney on their show. This is just, it's stupid, in my opinion. It's a losing issue for everybody. And her to come out and talk about this kind of crap like this. Now, I don't normally talk about The View and what they do because everything that they spew is nonsense and it's stupid talking points. Anyway, that's what I just don't normally cover them. But this one, Whoopi, anyway, take a look. You can let me know. This is just nuts. These people are they can't stop talking about losing issues. But hey, keep it up. I mean, midterms are coming up, and we'll see what happens. We'll take a look. This is wild. Anyway.
Problem that the trans community is facing, and it's the same problem that women face, is if you don't know anything about our bodies, you don't know how it works. Mm-hmm. So when you come in and you say...
You know who does know a thing about women's bodies? Women. And the women that are actually starting to take a stand now. What about women? They know what they're talking about. She says that later on in just a minute or so. But the women are starting to take a stand against this stuff. They're not. I've starting to see it a lot more. Women are they're not participating if there's a man on the opposing team. They're starting to stand up against this crap, and rightfully so. They should have been doing it from the start. That's my thought on it. It should have never got this far. But it has, and this is where we're at.
Oh, these are men, competing against women. You're assuming that the women are weak and just can't do anything except be here.
I don't assume women are weak. I give a lot of props to women, especially in sports. Do I disagree with a lot of them? Sure. Do I think that women are not as strong as men? Yes. I think there's a lot of women that are probably just as strong as men, but I also think that women have women's sports for a reason. And the fact of the matter is, look at the USA national women's team got beat by a 15 under men's team. Boys, 15 under. I think the score was 5-3 or 5-2, something like that. But they got beat. A national championship soccer team got beat. Take a look, and I've said this before, the volleyball player who had ended up with partial paralysis and a little bit of brain damage because a man on the opposing team spiked the ball into her face. Take a look at the basketball team that ended up having to forfeit the game because the opposing team had a man on the team and ended up injuring 3 of their players and then didn't have enough players to keep playing, so they ended up having to forfeit. What about them women, Whoopi? These people do not care about women. They want to throw out these talking points. That's it. They want to talk about these losing issues as if they're winning, and they're not. But keep at it. Keep at it, Whoopi. Midterms are coming up. Y'all just keep running the same playbook, and we'll see what happens in the midterms.
Seen female athletes, they know what they're doing. So I'm not.
Look, excuse me. I'm just going to put this out there. Look, a lot of these women, especially the high school women athletes, okay? You can say that they know what they're doing. And as I've said before, there's a lot of them coming out now and saying that they're not going to play against a man on the opposing team. And I give them props for that. But where these high school women, they just want to play sports. They just want to play. They want to take it to the next level. They put a lot into these sports. Where are the parents saying my daughter is not going to be playing against a man? That's what I would do. If my daughter was playing on a high school team, there was a man on the opposing team, I'd pull her off and say, you're not playing. And I'd talk to that coach. I'd say, you need to do something. That's just me, though. My daughters are not going to play against men in a sport. That's it. That's all there is to it.
Not sure what's going on or why this is an issue. The same for me as when people say, oh, I don't know how I feel about you. You do. God doesn't make mistakes.
No.
That's a good point, Whoopi. That's a good point. God does not make mistakes. That's a very good point. God did not make a mistake when he put you in that body. If you're a man, you're a man. If you're a woman, you're a woman. God does not make mistakes. That's it. That's all there is to it.
And the challenge is not to the trans people, it's to the people who are not trans. That's what God is looking to see, how you treat people.
Yeah.
It's completely and utterly false. Whoopi goes on a rant. She does not care about women getting hurt. That's it. It's the plain simple truth. Whoopi cares more about coming out here and throwing out the talking points and, bowing to this small percentage of people. She cares more about that and being socially correct than she does about putting out real facts and real statistics and everything else. Every time. It's not a secret that a mediocre male athlete will be better in most cases. I say most cases. But a mediocre male athlete is going to be better than a female high-end athlete. In most cases, it's going to be the fact. That's why you've got men competing. Look, and I'm not saying that this is the case in every situation, but I've seen enough of these cases to where it makes me think that these male athletes who transition to a female, they just can't hack it on a male team. Okay, this is my opinion again, but it makes me, all the stuff that I've seen, it makes me believe that these men cannot hack it on a men's team, so they transition into a woman and then they go to a woman's team and just beat the crap out of everybody. Is that fair? It's an honest question to everybody out there. Let me know. Is that fair to the female athlete who's busting their butts to try and better themselves in that sport and to be better, maybe go to college on a scholarship, what have you? Is that fair to that female athlete? Absolutely. No, it's not. It's not fair to them to bust their butts as long as they have to in order to better themselves within the sport, make themselves a better player, and compete at a more elite level. It's not fair to them to have a man come in and just completely destroy them. It's not fair. Again, I take you back to the volleyball player who got the ball spiked in her face. The basketball team that got 3 players injured and then had to forfeit. It's not fair to these women, and it shouldn't be taking place. That's it. If you want trans people to compete, if it's a man transitioning to a woman, let them compete with the men. That's it. Because I guarantee you they won't make the team. I guarantee it, because they're mediocre athletes on the men's team, but they excel against the women. I guarantee you they won't make the men's team. And as far as a woman transitioning to a man, if you make it onto a men's team, if you're good enough for that, then fine. But it's not. It's going to be very, very rare. I've never seen a story of it yet. I haven't, because it's just not. Like I said, it's not in the realm of possibilities as far as it's science. That's another thing. These ladies on The View talked and talked during COVID. They talked and talked. Oh, trust the science. It's the science. Science, science, science. Where are they about science on this? It's science that men are physically stronger, faster. You know, they can run longer. Everything. It's science. Men are physically stronger, bigger, faster. It's science. Not taking anything against, not taking anything away from the women. Like I said, I give major props to these women who excel, train themselves up, compete at it, at an elite level. I take nothing away from them. I give them props. They've worked hard. They deserve what they get. I'm not taking anything away from them. But the fact remains that men competing against women is dangerous for the women. If you really are for this, then you really don't care about women. That's what I think. Anyway.
Problem
I think
that
that was it.
the trans community is facing.
Yeah, that was all. Anyway. So, I mean, like I said, it's crazy. It's crazy to me that these people are just in their own world. And like I said, it's talking points. They don't care about women. They don't care about protecting women, because if they did, they wouldn't allow this to happen. And Dylan Mulvaney can go on there all he wants. I don't care. This guy, I mean, the Bud Light spokesman, you saw how that worked out for Bud Light. Bud Light's still trying to recuperate from that. But that's part, I mean, that's what part of what makes America great, because we can vote with our dollars. It happened with Bud Light. I mean, so hey, it happened with Target. You want to push this transgender ideology. It's a losing issue, and it's been proven time and time again, but people are still pushing this. Look at Disney. Disney's lost billions of dollars over woke stuff. They're still pushing it, though. But hey, keep it up. Nobody's going to watch your content. Nobody's going to watch your movies. But anyway, that's all I got for this morning. I appreciate you hanging out. If you made it this long, I really do appreciate it, because I rant and ramble quite a bit. But anyway, appreciate you hanging out again. And if you like what you saw, hit the like button. I could always use a like or two. You can follow me on Rumble. That's where I recommend you follow me at. You can also subscribe to me on YouTube if you want to, but don't know why you would be there instead of Rumble. But go over to Rumble. Rumble's where it's at, I'm telling you. And you can also follow me on X at The Political Ray. Appreciate you hanging out again. Y'all have a good day. And everybody, just God bless. Take care of yourselves. All right.